everybody to know that I'm really hurting right now all over. My shoulder blades, except the other night, Anita, I asked her to rub some Sombra on my back, and it felt really good, but I need to have it done again, by the way, because it's like a heat bomb, and it really makes you feel good. But we prayed for Tim for his hernia,
And it worked.
and he was actually, he was starting to hurt, and I hope you didn't rip some of your stitches.
No, I did not.
Because I was up on the Bobcat, he got somebody to bring a Bobcat to lift the shingles up, because I'm dreading having to carry all the shingles up, even though it's little at a time, it's more up and down the ladder. And he got this Bobcat on, and we couldn't go around the back, so we had to come out in the front and get it right by the corner. If you notice, some of the branches are broken because I didn't have anything to cut the branches with. So I had to actually break the branches off. I got to get back over there and trim it off a little nicer. But you know, with this insurance thing and the costs of materials today, I was running kind of low on funds, and I just want to thank you, Tim, in front of everybody, for helping me, because I know that you've done a lot, and so I like you dressed in white too.
Well, I wasn't until I just left the house. I had to.
I bet you don't roof with that, baby.
I do not, sir.
But was it Thursday when it rained on us?
Friday.
Oh, Friday. Yeah, we were on the roof.
Both.
Well, we got soaked.
Yes.
Yeah, Friday night, because it was before Celebrate Recovery. And we got really soaked. He goes, I think we're gonna stop and take over, do it tomorrow. But I just wanted to thank him, and let's give him a big hand for helping. Tim's been a real servant, you know, and
Thank you, Russell. Thank you, Lord.
thank you for being a friend, and I just wanted to acknowledge.
Can I get that in writing? No, I'm just kidding. Lord will say.
I think I take that back.
It's right here, for sure.
But you know, even though I'm hurting, right, Ace and Page, I got all my muscles, it's like I'm using those muscles that I haven't done. I didn't ever think I'd have to do this again, this roofing business, because I got told by Anita, you can't get up on that roof anymore, you know, that side. And so I asked, you know, Tim if he would help me get that done, because that's the one I was dreading. But when we got up a little higher, then I was okay, because we used those little foam pads to get it on, and you can walk on them. And I was gonna keep on working. He had to take a break for the rest of the day, Saturday, no, Friday, whatever day it was. Anyways, yesterday he says, I'm gonna go, and I was gonna just keep on doing on that side, but he was concerned about me, that I would fall and nobody would be around to help me out, or something, get hurt.
I'm gonna stay.
So he ended up, and so I went on this side, and he stayed a little longer, and he finally left. Well, I went on to the park for the ice cream social, and came back and did a little more. So I'm just praising God, even though I'm in a lot of pain.
He was making fun of me.
Huh?
He was making fun of me. How could I be younger than you, Tim? Remember when I was like, oh. Now you're feeling it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm really feeling it. But anyways, praising God when you don't feel like it. How many times don't you feel like it in your life? What are some of the things that are going on in your life that is bringing you down, maybe even causing a little depression in your life?
My kids.
Expand on that a little bit.
The way they live.
The way they live their lives. Okay, so that the way when we watch our kids grow up and they're going the wrong direction brings us grief, right?
Yep.
And do you feel like praising God when that's happening?
All they have is faith or hope.
It's a choice. Everything in life is a choice, but we have to get in this mode to, like in Romans 12 it says, to transform your mind. You have to reprogram your mind so that you do what you need to do to stay in track with
Amen.
our relationship with God and not let ourselves get distracted by focusing on the problem or the pain or the hurt. How many of you are focused on your pain right now? Huh? And when you focus on your pain, whether it's emotional, whether it's a spiritual or physical pain, it's still pain. I mean, you've heard the expression again, sticks and stones may
Break your bones.
break my bones, but
Names will not hurt.
mere words cannot hurt me. That is a lie.
Yep.
I think Satan is the one that coined that term and gave it to somebody, put it in their mind. You know, I'm really glad that Julie's doing this Bible study called the Crashing the Chatterbox. And I've been reading on this. I'm already on the 3rd chapter, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
Am I supposed to read it? But it's so good that it talks about these voices that you hear constantly in your head, and you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
It's like that little, cartoon where there's this little bubble here and a bubble here, and one's got a picture of the devil, this little red thing with the horns and the pitchfork, and the other side you have an angel, and one's telling you to do bad, and the other one's telling you to do good, and there's this constant struggle in your mind. Seems like it's 24/7 because you're doing it in your dreams. And the thing is, what do you do about that? It's there, and everybody experiences it. So don't think that you're alone when you have this noise in your head, this chatter, and it's kind of funny because Anita, she's got this humor, so she went and bought those teeth that chatter, and she gave it to him. So she has an illustration. But that's what it's like. It's a constant. And we're always analyzing what's going on all day long. And a lot of it is a self-condemning type of voice. I'm not good enough. And Steve Furtick, which is a famous preacher, is the one that wrote this book and did this Bible study. And he talked about how preachers, they deliver a sermon, and yet they want to know if people enjoy the sermon, because sometimes they get criticism, and it only takes one time for someone to criticize a pastor that they'll constantly analyze, am I doing a good job, and seeking approval. When I go home after a Sunday, Anita, how did I do today? But that's part of what everybody does. So if that's what you're experiencing today, you're not alone. We all go through it. I think about the man Job. Now, how many of you read the story or heard the story of Job before? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a godly, righteous man, and he's having that same problem. In the land of Uz, there lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless. How many of you can call yourself blameless? Huh? It's nice. I mean, pretty sure he had sin in his life because the scripture says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But if you can be called blameless and upright, you're doing pretty good. He feared God, and that's the key. In order to be blameless or have the perspective where people in your community are saying that he's a good man, then you're doing pretty good. He feared God and shunned evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. How many is that?
10.
Well, back in those days, that was probably not that many. But remember, Jacob, even though it was some from different wives, you know, had how many? Anybody remember? You hear this number coming up quite often in the Bible. There's 12 disciples, right? Well, he had 12 sons. And then you look at Adam's, you know, there's one man and one woman caused all of us. But here, Job, he was blessed by 10 kids. He owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 donkeys, and had a large number of servants, and he was the greatest man among all the people of the East. Now, consider yourself, put yourself in Job's position, okay? You're well known, you're rich, you had everything going for you. His sons used to hold feasts in their homes on their birthdays, and they would invite their 3 sisters and eat and drink with them. They partied. And when a period of feasting had run its course, Job would make arrangements for them to be purified. You can imagine the kind of party that was eating and drinking, and I don't think that was water, or they didn't have soda pop, I don't think. I don't even think they had iced tea. So after that party, Job, being a righteous man, would make arrangements for them to be purified. Early in the morning, he would sacrifice a burnt offering for each of them. And I think it was like, he cared so much for his children to be right with God. And it doesn't say whether they were involved in this or not, but he felt that he wanted to do this because he wanted to honor God. And he was thinking, perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. This was Job's regular custom. And one day, the angels, okay, so this is the stuff that goes on in the spiritual realm. I think it was not Mere Christianity, it was Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis that talks about this spiritual warfare that goes on in the realms that we don't see, but it happens. It's right there, it's real. You got angels and you got the demons and you got Satan, and they're whispering all these voices in your head. And sometimes it drives people crazy to the point where they commit suicide. So one day the angels came and presented themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. Now, remember who Satan and those demons are. What were they?
Fallen angels.
They were angels. They were created. But just like us, God gave them a choice to honor God and follow Him and be obedient to God, or to rebel, which these angels did. And Satan, as he was called the morning star, Lucifer, he and the demons fell from heaven. And God allowed Satan and his angels to have rule over the earth. Now, why would God do that? It sounds like God was pretty mean to allow Satan to do that. Because we live in misery today because of this constant battle of the spiritual warfare that is going on. But who knows the mind of God? Why? Maybe it's because God wanted to show his unconditional love. That he would not manipulate people to following him, because we'd be just like robots. But he gave us the choice to choose God or to listen to the chatterbox of evil thoughts and follow Satan. So the Lord said to Satan, where have you come from? Like he didn't know. Just like God asked Adam and Eve when they sinned, where are you? Are you hiding? Insane, right? I think God had a little humor. Where are you? Where have you been? From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth. Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? Now think about this. Have you considered my servant Julie? Carol, Deb? Have you considered? Maybe the spiritual warfare that you're experiencing is God is allowing, Satan wants permission to work with you and bring you down, and God knows that you have the strength to do that. And so he's giving Satan permission to torment you. So consider it as an honor. And start praising God. God, thank you for this pain that I'm going through right now, because you have allowed Satan to attack me, because you know that I have the strength, not on my own, but my strength is in you to overcome evil. God said, there is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. Now that's really important. He shunned evil. How many of us have played with evil? We laugh about it. Maybe we even participate in evil when no one's looking, we think. Right? You know, it cracks me up. Well, it doesn't really crack me up, but it kind of discourages me when a Christian is on Facebook posting for everybody to see with profanity on it.
Yuck.
Yeah.
If it discourages me and causes me to be ashamed, can you imagine what it does to God, who doesn't need Facebook to know what's going on in your life? We must shun evil. Evil should be detesting. It should make you sick. But yet we tend to play around with it. We're all guilty of that. I know I play cards with a group of men, and sometimes the joking around is really terrible. And I catch myself from time to time just kind of rolling with the crowd. And I have to stop and I say, hey, let's think of something more positive instead of tearing each other down, which is easy to do, right, when you're in a group of people and everybody is putting each other down. Because why do we put people down, by the way? Huh? Why do we criticize other people in front of them, in front of the crowd?
Try to make them feel.
We think we're making ourselves look better, but does it?
No.
No.
Do people like you when you call other people names?
No.
Well, they do it on Facebook, right? Oh, so-and-so did this and this and this and this, and you know what? I think when other people look at it, it doesn't make you look good, does it? Who wants to be around people like that? Do you? Well, if you don't like it, then don't do it either. Does Job fear God for nothing, Satan says? Have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? You have blessed